Hello everyone, welcome live to 3Y TV, tonight's broadcast of the Total Nonstop Racing League right here on YouTube. Thank you for joining us if you are in the chat, because tonight we are at North Wilkesboro, race number 2 of the Total Nonstop Racing Chase. I'm Peter Short, and joining me in the booth, as always, is Bob Giaquinto. And Bob, North Wilkesboro, old racetrack, old surface, and tonight it is going to look very, very slippery out here for these drivers.
Yeah, for sure. We've been watching it for this entire practice session. A lot of guys getting sideways and just sliding out of these corners, so it's going to take a lot of car control and a lot of tire control tonight, A, if you want to finish the race, but B, if you want to get yourself a little bit higher and better off in these chase standings.
Yeah, and of course, we're going to find out which one of these drivers is going to walk away with the Thornton Graphix Cup here in a couple of races' time. In fact, let's see if we can bring up tonight's storyline. And of course, the first one here, what's on most people's mind here tonight, Bob, is of course the chase standings. And of course, you have those standings, I do believe, but it is Jason Gracias who comes in tonight once again as your points leader.
Yeah, Jason Gracias had a great showing last week at Daytona, second place. He finished first place in the stage at the break, gotten himself an extra 3 points, and that really made a huge difference. He's right now leading the points with 960 points, 2 wins on the year, average start of third, average finish of third, so that consistency really is paying off for Jason Gracias.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, last week after Daytona, Gracias, another fantastic showing there. But Steven Doziak was the man who walked away with the race win. But what about tempers after Daytona, Bob? Because we saw a couple of unhappy drivers after that event. And this is a short track. So if tempers are going to flare, you expect them to happen here on a short track.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw a lot of guys getting together, just some awkward bump drafts here and there throughout the race, led to a few wrecks, disqualification, so it's going to be interesting to see if those tempers carried over from week to week, especially here at a short track where the chrome horn really is the number one way of revenge here on these short tracks.
Yeah, that is 100% true. And of course, tonight, in real life, we have a morning to day transition here for these drivers. They're actually going to start kind of in the morning, and the racetrack's going to heat up as they move throughout the day. The sun rising over North Wilkesboro, so a little bit different for these drivers here, Bob, because these drivers, it's already pretty slick, and when we get into the race, it's only going to get slicker as the race goes on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with as the track temperatures change, there's going to be a lot less grip as they progress through the time period. So, what you may have at the start of the race, compound that with some older tires. It's going to be really interesting to see if these guys can A, hang on, and B, able to save the car if they wind up getting it sliding coming out of turns 4 and 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to let this practice session come to a close here. We're about to jump over into the pole shootout. And Bob, starting here up front on a short track, that's going to be, in my opinion, I think pretty important here today.
Yeah, definitely. Unlike Daytona last week where track position was not that important, it's going to be a huge deal for these drivers for track position as we see Mike Floppy Tellier take his opening lap here for qualifying. Track position is going to be key because it's tight racing, very narrow track, lots of sliding around like we've seen and been talking about all show so far. You really want to try to get out in front of the field and lead some laps especially if you're one of these playoff drivers.
Yeah, we're right on board here with the number 97 of Mike Tellier as he goes into the corners. This is a very interesting racetrack because it does have a little bit of variable banking. We're going to see a lot of drivers there run kind of that second groove. But if you're going to want to make a pass, you're going to try and go down there onto that inside groove, but there isn't as much grip down there. That's where we've seen a lot of these drivers struggle for grip. So far, so good for Mike Tellier. He's currently first here in this qualifying session.
Yeah, right now he's putting up some pretty decent lap times here as he's going to come across the line. Let's see if he can better his last lap out there. Looks like a 17.6 or 17.8 rather up there on the board. Tristan Maher there in second. Now we're going to be following the 53 machine out there, which would be AJ Fossenot putting in some laps. Here's one of our playoff drivers here, Jason Freeman. He's currently second in the point standings coming into tonight's race, only 7 points behind Jason Gracias.
And of course, there is the number 7, the man who runs Total Nonstop Racing, Garrett Gleason himself. Chicken pick chicken pit, on the hood of that number 7 Chevrolet as he works his way through turn number 1 and 2, trying to get a lap time in here. You can see over there on the left-hand side of your screen, yet to put in a lap time that has not been disqualified by iRacing, so we'll see if he can do so here. But I think that might be all she wrote for that number 7 machine. Looks like he will jump to 8th on the board on the left-hand side of your screen. Billy Thornton in the number 5, one of your playoff drivers, yet to get out there on the racetrack. Last week's race winner there, Steven Doziak, not what he wanted here in qualifying. He's currently being scored 14th out of the 14 drivers. But there goes the number 5. Billy Thornton jumps up into 6th. And how about that, Bob? 2nd through 6th are your playoff drivers.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you, Peter, how tight these chase drivers and playoff drivers are as far as competition goes. They're all stacked one on top of the other, and you know, this race is going to be a huge importance for these drivers to A, stay out of trouble, and B, try to get some distance on the guy behind you or try to pick up that distance on the guy ahead of you.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we are now riding on board with Fernando Matos, who gets a little bit loose out of turn number 2. We're going to see that a lot. And I think what Fernando Matos was doing there, he might have just gotten a little bit too low on the racetrack. He's going to try and get it in reverse here to get back up the racetrack, but that's what we were talking about. That inside groove, there's not a lot of grip down there. It's pretty flat, and we're going to see a lot of drivers struggle to get the rear tires underneath them. You see Fernando running down there on that white line yet again, and I'm sure he is one of the drivers who's going to find out pretty quickly that you want to be a little bit higher up on the racetrack to get the launch out of these corners that you're hoping for. Ooh, it happens to him again right there. Oof, that's a heavy hit right there with that pit wall opening on the backstretch. He was not able to get a lot of practice time in, so hopefully Fernando can kind of ride around and figure out the racetrack here in the early going when he gets to the race, trying to get that thing fired up. But it doesn't look like he will get that car fired up at all, as it does look like it has come to a halt there on the backstretch. But it looks like all the drivers have taken time, however, all 16 drivers here tonight, Bob.
Yeah, all 16 drivers out there tonight able to get some laps down. And, you know, we had spoken with a lot of the drivers last weekend at Daytona before this race, and they were saying that, you know, this is all one giant question mark for them. Not a lot of drivers have all of that experience here at North Wilkesboro, because this is a fairly new racetrack, one of the, if not the newest tracks for the iRacing service. So this is going to be a huge question mark, and could be a big wild card for this Thornton Graphix Cup chase.
Yeah, definitely going to be an interesting one here tonight. Looks like Fernando Matos getting back out there on the racetrack. You see him right down there from the blimp cam. I want to give a shout out to the people who we got in the chat here tonight. We got 15 people watching, so if you're one of those 15, make sure you make yourself heard. We'll give you a shout out here as the race goes on, especially here in the qualifying session where we have a little bit of downtime. Logie Bear saying Philip Scott champion 2020. And there is a possibility of that happening. You can see on the left-hand side of your screen, 5 drivers have a orange badge right there by their number. That indicates that they are the 5 chase drivers contending here for the Thornton Graphix Cup here in the Total Nonstop Racing League. But the checkered flag has been thrown on the qualifying session, and Mike Tellier there in the number 97 machine trying to play spoiler.
Yeah, he missed the playoffs by just a couple of points a couple weeks ago in Chicagoland, so he's looking for a little bit of redemption. Had a little bit of a tough race last week at Daytona after getting tangled up in a bit of a bump drafting incident last week. So he's looking for a little bit of double revenge to try to get one back on these playoff drivers.
Yeah, definitely hoping to try and get up to the front. And what about the different looks that we have here tonight? Particularly that man right there, that would be the number 98 machine, of course, driven by Tristan Maher, as well as the number 99 right behind him. That is going to be driven this week by Philip Scott. So they've changed from the number 17 and the number 8 over to the number 98 and number 99 respectively. And new looks on both of those cars. Also new look on the number 97 there, Mike Tellier. So 97, 98, 20, 99, your front 2 rows. But Bob, I think it's time for us to officially go through tonight's starting lineup.
Yeah, starting on pole for tonight, like we mentioned before, Mike Floppy Tellier in the 97 machine. Outside of him, his teammate, the 98 of Tristan Maher. On the inside of row number 2, starting in third, the 20 of Jason Freeman, one of our playoff drivers. And outside of him, the new look, the number 99 of Philip Scott on the outside in a Carl Edwards throwback. On the inside of row number 3, Jason Gracias in 5th. Outside of him is another playoff driver in Billy Thornton in 6th. In row number 4, starting 7th, the 12 of Cam Caldwell. And next to him, the newcomer to this league, the 53 of AJ Fossenot. And rounding up the top 10 in row number 5 on the inside, the 7 of Garrett Gleason, and outside of him, the 21 of Derek Cook.
Yeah, and then behind them on row number 6, the 22 of Stephen Kegman, the number 35 of Joseph Heater. They are working their way around the racetrack. And then back on row number 7, on the inside, we got Vincent Valvano and Fernando Matos. And then rounding out your field here tonight, Kyle Geveshausen and last week's race winner from Daytona, Stephen Doziak Jr. But I'll tell you what, Bob, time to go green here at North Wilkesboro. I'm very much looking forward to this one. A little bit of old school NASCAR here in the iRacing service. Pace truck going to head down pit road, race in the hands of the number 97 machine, and the green flag is going to wave here at North Wilkesboro. We're underway, 100 laps here tonight.
Good restart for both of these front row drivers here, the 97 and the 98 respectively, side by side coming out of turn number 2. A good battle, and really no driver willing to concede the lead quite yet.
Yeah, that number 97 of Tellier right down there on the low line. He's going to have to watch out for getting on the throttle a little bit too soon when he's down there on that flat. Oh, a little bit of connection issues out of that number 97 as well, but here comes the number 20 of Jason Freeman trying to pick up the position right behind. In fact, Freeman will take that spot away from Tristan Maher. So Freeman now up to second, but Freeman gets loose coming out of the corner, and he gets tagged by the number 99, and that is going to put us under the first caution of the night.
Oh, man, it looked like Freeman had it saved coming out of there, but the 98 and 99 just barely got into the back of him and got him spun around. Let's take a look at this replay here.
Yeah, we're going to watch this replay coming out of the corner. He gets a little bit loose there. He tries to save it. And then just a little bit of tag from the number 99, and that's a heavy hit from the number 20 into the inside wall. And, oof, man, he almost came back up into traffic. We'll see if we can get another look on board maybe with that race car. Here we go. On board with the number 20. There's the initial wiggle. Saves it, tries to save it, and then just a little bit of a nudge just to get those rear tires up off the ground and into the inside wall. But that is not what the number 20, one of your championship chase drivers, once here in the early going. Quite a bit of damage on that Mason-Dixon Cornhole Chevrolet. I don't think he will elect to use a fast repair here on this one, Bob, because he does have one fast repair here tonight, but I don't expect to see him use it. Now, there might have been a little bit of problems back in the pack as well, because I see Vincent Valvano pretty tore up there in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Chevrolet. Let's see if we can go back and see exactly what happened to Vinny Valvano, because that might have actually happened after the accident. Let's see if we can roll the tape here. So there's the 20 of Freeman off the pace, and the 38 gets into the corner. Oh, there was another car around, and wow, Fossenot in the 38 there making contact, but I think that was the 12 that had gone around at Cam Caldwell.
Yeah, Caldwell looks like he had gotten sideways just as an after effect of the wreck here. So we'll see here, the 12 gets through everything, came back up. The 5 was just kind of in his place, gotten involved with the 5. And then here, the 53 tried to dodge the 12, got in a 38, and just mayhem here on lap number 5.
Yeah, we'll see if we can go on board here with the number 53, get one more look of how this all went down. You can see the number 20 there starting to throw up some smoke. Then there's the 12 who's going down, and the 53 just trying to get through a little gap right there. And the number 12 was coming back up the racetrack, and there was that contact between them. Now, it looks like we were possibly going to go green there just a minute ago, but looks like they might have waved it off. Now they're getting the one-to-go signal. So quickie yellows here at North Wilkesboro, Bob, and that means we're going to get a lot of green flag racing. Only 100 laps here tonight, so pretty short race.
Yeah, pretty short race. We do have our stage break coming up at lap 25, the competition caution, which is going to be huge for a lot of these chase drivers here, as the winner of the stage gets 3 points, second place 2, third place gets 1. So if you're a chase driver, you're really looking forward to trying to win these stage, or at least get in that top 3 to get some extra bonus points.
And the green flag back in the air here at North Wilkesboro, and the number 97 machine will lead us back to the green flag, and he's already got in front of Tristan Maher, and we have a caution flag again, folks. Looks like something a little bit further back in the back. We'll see if we can dial this one up, Bob.
Yeah, I didn't quite see that in the beginning here, or the front of the pack, rather. But as they come back through, let's take a look and see what happens there. 53 just got into the 71, turn him around the 35 of Joseph Heater there as well. But, Peter, like you had mentioned, all these drivers have a fast repair. When do you think is the best time to use that fast repair?
I think we're going to see quite a few yellow flags here tonight. Look at Fernando Matos. He got a great restart right down there on the bottom, and then the 53 started to come down. It might have been a little bit of net code between those two causing that accident, but nowhere for the 35 of Joe Heater to go. That is definitely not what he wanted to have happen. We'll see if we can get an onboard look with the number 53 machine. Here we go. Going back to green flag racing here, and there's the initial contact. 53 goes around, and the 35 tries to get on the brake, but he hits the inverse of his number, the 53 there of AJ Faustinot, and brings out the second caution flag of the night here in the first 10 laps, which is definitely not what you want to see here throughout the field. But it does mean that the iRacing pace truck can head back out there onto the racetrack and put in another couple of laps led.
Hey, he's just trying to pad his lap led total. We've seen a lot of wrecks or a lot of races that had, a lot of cautions, and a lot of races that had barely any, if no cautions, aside from the stage break. So, a good amount of racing and some very talented drivers here on the Total Nonstop Racing League. Yeah,
definitely. This car and track combo, I've heard drivers talking about it all week about how slippery this racetrack is with these cars. It just doesn't have a lot of grip with the setup. Of course, they all do run the same setup, the iRacing fixed setup here for this racetrack. And so definitely going to be something we're going to keep our eyes on. It's going to be interesting also to see, Bob, is if the field elects to go to single file restarts. I know we've seen that before. A lot of short tracks do that throughout the United States, and definitely something that the admins can employ if they so wish here tonight. But we're going to line up for a double file restart here. The number 97, Mike Floppy Teller, going to lead us back to green. The number 98 of Tristan Maher to his outside. And then, well, how about your points leader there sitting in third with the pace truck here going to file off onto pit road, Bob.
Yeah, so here comes the field coming out of turn number 4. Green flag back in the air. Mike Floppy Teller able to get a good jump there on the restart, able to dive down with the lead into turn number 1.
And that number 97 again having some connection issues right up there at the front of the field. And the number 98, Maher, there in second. We'll see if we can get a little bit of a lookout back from the number 97, because this racetrack is pretty darn tricky. It's also quite bumpy. And one thing about this racetrack that catches a lot of people off guard, Bob, is the fact that one end of this racetrack is actually uphill from the other. You actually go up there on the back stretch, and then on the front stretch you go down the hill. You can kind of see that here on the view that you can see out back. Very unique. No other NASCAR track like that, and it actually does play havoc on how these cars drive. It does behave differently in turn number 1 and 2 versus turn number 3 and 4, and kind of a cool thing to employ that we don't see a lot of other NASCAR tracks do, as we have a battle brewing a little bit further back in the pack.
Yeah, right now Mike Teller able to get a good look there on the battle as he takes the lead. But here comes the 71 of Fernando Matos on the inside of the 44 of Kyle Givishausen. Good side-by-side racing here. I feel like the drivers were able to kind of feel out the track and say, okay, I don't really want to be super low here, as we see the 71 of Matos going that low, but they're saying, okay, not a whole lot of grip down there. Let's try to move the line up a little bit and see what we can do. But some fantastic racing here right now.
Yeah, Floppy Teller right up there at the front. In fact, he's got out to about a 1 second lead over Tristan Maher, who's running back there in second. Let's see if we can get a look at him, because he has your points leader, Jason Gracias, right behind him. And right behind him is the number 99 of Philip Scott. New number on that race car this week was the number 8 1 week ago. Now the number 99 right here, changing teams really late, but here comes a battle for the outside. Comes the number 4 machine of Gracias. This is the battle for second, and Gracias, your points leader, he wants it in that discount tire machine.
Yeah, he wants it, and he's going to get it after a huge wiggle there by Maher as he was coming out of turn number 4, just got absolutely sideways, able to save the car, thankfully, but that just opened the door for the 4 of Gracias to say, you know what, thank you, I'm taking this one and running with it.
Yeah, definitely these drivers putting on a fantastic show here as the number 4's got it. Now we're going to find out whether or not the number 99 of Philip Scott can do anything to get around Tristan Mayer, because these drivers, you can tell, folks, they're just whipping their way around this racetrack. It is so fast here. One lap around this racetrack is, man, there's the number 12 getting a little bit loose. And whoa, this is a battle a little bit further back between the 22 of Kegman as well as 71 of Fernando Matos, who's doing a good job charging his way back up through the field. That's going to move Matos now up into 7th. So good recovery for the number 71. We saw his struggles there in qualifying, but he seems to have really figured out the racetrack here in the race.
Yeah, he's spun around a lot during qualifying, able to get the car righted the right way, and now he's slowly starting to pick up, okay, maybe I don't want to be super low, trying to pick up his line a little bit there, and he's really making a charge through this field. But as we say it, the broadcaster's curse happens yet again, but this time, wow, what a save there by Matos.
Yeah, he was snaking that thing all the way down the front stretch, but able to keep it off the wall. Meanwhile, Philip Scott in the number 99 machine, he just made the pass on the number 98 of Tristan Mayer. So move Philip up to 2nd. And of course, we got Logie Bear in the chat rooting on that number 99 machine here tonight. Who else we got in the chat? Doesn't seem like we got all too many comments here tonight, so make sure you make yourself heard so we can give you a shout out. We want to hear who you're rooting for here tonight. Are you rooting for an underdog, or are you rooting for one of those drivers whose names are in orange, who are going for the Thornton Graphix Cup here in the Total Nonstop Racing League? Definitely been a fantastic season. We only have 3 races left, including tonight. We go to Iowa and then Indianapolis to round out the season. So a couple of good races here over the next couple of weeks. And caution flag has been thrown for the 3rd time here tonight.
Yeah, it looks like the end of stage number 1 here as the drivers come across and complete lap number 25. So our stage winner is going to be the 97 of Mike Tellier. Behind him, the 98, or pardon me, I believe that was the 4 of Jason Gracias, and the 99 of Philip Scott.
Yeah, that number 97 machine, he's going to get the bonus points for finishing in 1st. There are 3 bonus points that go to the winner of the 1st stage. 2 points go to 2nd place, and 1 point goes into 3rd. So your points leader there, the number 4 of Jason Gracias, he's going to pick up a couple extra points, which will go to his tally. I'm sure he'll be happy about that. Mike Floppy Tellier down and away already. Who's going to be the 2nd one off pit road? It will be Jason Gracias. Then the number 99 is Scott. And then, whoa, really tight there between the 98 and the 12. But we got a couple of other takers there on pit road. And actually, we got a couple of drivers possibly in danger of falling a lap down sitting on pit road. Ooh, man, there they go. And, ooh, did they beat the pace truck? Ooh, I don't know. Was that a closed pit that they left? Looks like iRacing's going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but that was definitely tight there between Joe Heater and that pace truck for him to stay on the lead lap. But looks like for now, iRacing will give him the benefit of the doubt. That's good news. That will keep us with pretty much all the cars on the lead lap. Now, one driver who did peel off the racetrack is the number 71 of Fernando Matos. Matos has put the number 71 to the garage, so not sure if that was possibly due to that issue we saw, Bob, but unfortunately it looks like Matos will be calling it a night. Now, interesting events have happened up here at the front. Last week's race winner from Daytona, Steven Doziak in the 55 machine, as the pace truck lights have turned off, he stayed out, so he's going to be on old tires here when we go back to green here in a lap or so.
Yeah, he stayed out, so it's going to be interesting to see how his car is going to handle these older tires. He may have pitted during one of the earlier cautions to pick up some little bit fresher tires than the 25 laps that we've ran so far under green, but this is definitely going to be interesting as the pace truck is getting ready to pull off now.
Well, it looks like we've extended the caution for a lap. Not 100% sure why. Possibly the back half of the field not quite lined up. You can see them back there a little bit scattered. So we will go one extra lap. The pace truck lights have turned off once again. And Doziak picking up that win last week at Daytona. And I'll tell you what, Bob, what a finish it was. If you guys did not check out last week's race finish here in the Total Nonstop Racing League, do so after this one. It was a stellar race at Daytona. Just a wild finish. I wouldn't have called Doziak to win that race coming to the white flag, but carnage on that last lap. He was able to squeak on through Days of Thunder style and get the race victory. It looks like we have thrown the caution one more lap. A couple of cars, looks like they were actually caught a lap down. That's AJ Falsnot and the 44, both going around the pace truck, so hopefully they can get back on the lead lap and we can go back at it. So a couple of the admins here just trying to get things all sorted out before we go back to green flag racing. Of course, that was our one and only stage break, and we will hopefully go pretty much all the rest of the way. And looks like the 71 of Fernando Matos, he's got back out there on the racetrack, and he's going to get waved around the pace truck as well. So the admin's feeling very generous here, Bob.
Yeah, very generous, but you know what? That's always great when you're saying, you know what, that wasn't really fair for you guys to get trapped a lap down. We'll have you get your laps back, but here comes the pace truck off and the green flag back in the air with Steven Dosiak leading the field down to green.
Yeah, and Dosiak has to be very careful. He is on old tires, and he's going to lose the race lead to the number 97, Mike Tellier. He's led 27 laps here already, and now we got a couple of cars stuck behind the 55 of Dosiak, including your points leader. Dosiak now starting to slide a little bit further back. The number 99 gets around him. The 12 gets around him. Here comes the number 98 of Tristan Mayer trying to get around the 55 of Dosiak. Now, still Gracias stuck behind the 55, and oh man, almost contact there between the 20 and the 55 coming out of turn number 2. As you saw, Gracias there said, you know what, I'm stuck. I'm sick of being stuck behind the number 55. He dropped down there to the inside line to make that pass, but unfortunately for right now, the no tire strategy on the 55 doesn't seem to be working out.
Yeah, certainly not. All these drivers have some fresh Goodyear tires out there and really able to get the grip and keep the grip. But, I mean, we saw there Dosiak just really did not have as much pickup on that restart as he had hoped to maybe have.
Yeah, he's fallen down to the 8th position, and caution flag has been thrown once again here. We'll see if we can figure out what all went down to bring out this caution flag. I'm not seeing anything as of yet. So maybe just like a little 360 or something off the nose of one of these drivers. Not trying to figure it out and to try and see exactly what all went down. But I'm not seeing anything, Bob. At least not yet. Trying to wait, trying to figure it out, and yep, I think we figured it out. Finally, we got it. Sometimes it takes us a little bit here on 3-Wide TV, but we got this one. It's the number 44 here. Kyle Geveshausen gets out of turn number 4 and just boink into the inside wall, gets it pointed in the right direction. It's a pretty quick 360. Now, as you can see, that number 44, Geveshausen, excuse me, he does race on a controller. So when track conditions are slippery, like they are here tonight, it makes it very, very difficult for that number 44 machine. But we'll get another look here from our turn 4 camera, and I'm sure we'll see that number 44 enter stage left here very shortly.
Yeah, there it goes, just sideways out of 4. Couldn't quite get the car straightened up or woed up enough and just wound up going head on into the wall. So it'll be interesting to see if he chooses to use his fast repair here, or if he says, you know what, damage isn't too bad, I can try to repair as much as possible in the pits and just kind of go at it from there.
Yeah, he is right there in his pit box right now. We'll see if he uses a fast repair. It doesn't look like he is. Now, Fernando Matos in the number 71 machine right now. He is going to be your lucky dog, so he'll be back on the lead lap here as we close in on the halfway mark here in tonight's North Wilkesboro 100. Ryder Lee Angle joining us in the chat saying, let's go, Philip. Of course, a little bit different look on that number 99 this week. Usually see that in the number 8 machine, but there he is running inside the top 3 on the podium positions. That's where he needs to be to try and close in on Jason Gracias. Gracias fell all the way back to the 5th position there under that short green flag run, but I gotta say, that number 99 looking pretty darn good with the fresh paint on it.
Yeah, for sure. A little Carl Edwards throwback. He's certainly sorely missed in the NASCAR Cup Series nowadays, but those new paint schemes for both him and the 98 of Tristan Mayer is actually a bit of a partnership with Waffle Motorsports. The 97, 98, and 99, the 3 of those drivers are one team here in Total Nonstop Racing, and they did a little bit of a move to try to synergize their team and have all the numbers in a row and things along those lines. So look for that to carry on through the rest of these races, and next year when Total Nonstop Racing goes Xfinity Series racing.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to move over from these cars over to the Xfinity cars, which is going to be a little bit of a change for a lot of these drivers. A little bit more horsepower, a little bit higher speeds. Not that these cars are slouches by any means, but definitely a lot more horsepower in those Xfinity cars. So will be interesting to see that transition and all the new paint schemes for the Total Nonstop Racing field. But green flag about to be back in the air, and the number 99, Philip Scott, got caught absolutely sleeping. Almost contact there between his teammate, the number 98, of Tristan Maher. That's going to open up the door for Cam Caldwell there in the number 12 on the inside. But now Caldwell's stuck on that inside groove. We've seen that inside groove kind of be somewhat preferred maybe early in a run, but then the outside line starts to benefit as Jason Freeman back there in the number 20, he's been having his problems here today. He was involved in the first caution flag. He's now slid back around the 8th position.
Yeah, some big chase implications there for the 20 of Freeman. Really has not had such a great night so far. I mean, granted, right now, he is in the top 10. He's currently running 7th, but just really a tough race and a tough track for the 20 of Freeman.
Yeah, and we've seen how difficult it is to pass here tonight, Bob. We've seen some drivers really struggle to make some positions, but up at the front, here we go, battle for second between Cam Caldwell and the number 99 of Philip Scott. Just mentioning how difficult it is to pass these two side by side now for a couple of laps. Still that number 12 Altel Dodge on the inside line of Cam Caldwell trying to pick up the run out of turn number 4, trying to keep those rear tires underneath him with all the horsepower that these things do have. Not as much as the Xfinity cars, but they still have quite a bit of horsepower, and we have seen how slippery it can get with a couple of cars there spinning off the corner. Man, that looked like a little bit of a slide from Cam Caldwell on entry into the corner, but he dove it in, was able to make it stick, and now Philip Scott and Tristan Maher battling for third.
Yeah, Tristan Maher now down looking on the inside of his teammate, the 99 of Philip Scott. But Cam Caldwell able to get the position, looking sideways there. And, you know, the one camera angle here that we have as the drivers come out of turn number 4, it makes it look like it's so much closer to the inside of that pit wall. Every time they come by, I'm thinking, oh, man, just please don't hit that pit wall. Please don't. And, you know, plenty of room, but just a little bit of a camera trick there as they come out of 4.
Yeah, now we're watching the number 4 of Gracias as he's trying to climb his way back through. How about a little bit of spoilers here tonight, Bob? Our top 2, Mike Tellier and Cam Caldwell, we saw both of them have a stellar race back at Chicagoland. The number 98, Mayer there getting wicked loose out of the corner. And now the number 99 of Philip Scott, he's up the racetrack. He's up in the marbles. Can he find some grip up there to get himself and hold on to that spot? Looks like he does, but that was a little hairy moment for both the 99 and the 98.
Wow, 99 just rim riding there through 3 and 4. I'm sure not of his own volition, but somehow he was able to A, keep his car out of the wall, and B, keep it going in a straight line. Wow, what a save there by the 99 of Philip Scott.
Yeah, that was definitely hairy for both of them as we now reach the halfway mark of tonight's 100-lap event. And they'll be halfway this time by. Flagman has the cross flags in hand. So, you know, half the race down, half the race to go, and it's been a pretty interesting night with how slippery it has been. Cam Caldwell, in that number 12 machine, trying to run down your race leader, the number 97 of Tellier, who's been absolutely on a rail here tonight. It looks like the number 71 of Fernando Matos. Looks like he might have a little bit of additional damage on that race car. Let's see if we can figure out exactly what happened here to Fernando Matos just a little bit ago. And here he is. This was about a lap and a half ago, working his way through turn number 1 and 2. Did he just have a little bit too much beans coming out of the corner? Yes, he did. Lights him up, and oh, man, that's heavy, heavy contact. And you can see that left front suspension is absolutely toast. We'll get a look at it right there. You can see that that wheel is in the ground. That's not supposed to happen, iRacing. But it looks like the number 71 of Fernando Matos will be on pit road. But meanwhile, back up at the front, Mike Floppy Tellier still holding on to a 1.4-second lead or so. Been looking like he's on an absolute rail with that John Deere machine. Nothing runs like a John Deere. Isn't that right, Bob?
Yeah, that's for sure, and he's really running away from the field right now. 1.3-second lead over the 12 of Cam Caldwell, getting ready to catch up on the end of the lead lap. AJ Fossenat, he's just about a turn ahead of him, but really just pretty much domination from the green flag there by the 97 of Tellier. But, you know, that run of the 12 of Cam Caldwell, really no slouch either.
Yeah, and how about the playoff drivers right there all together again, 3rd through 7th, led by Philip Scott, Tristan Maher, Jason Gracias, Billy Thornton. Of course, make sure you check out Thornton Graphix here the sponsor of the Total Nonstop Racing League. There's a link in the description, as well as our friends. Ooh, do we have a caution? Nope, I just saw something there. The DRP Indoor Off-Road Racing Track, Dunn Raceway Park. Make sure you check them out. Also, a link in the description to their Facebook page, located in Old Forge, Pennsylvania. They are your one-stop shop for all off-road RC racing, if you want to do it indoors, which is a very cool thing. And we're watching number 12, Cam Caldwell, work his way through traffic. He's actually been able to gain a little bit of time on your race leader, Mike Tellier. It's now under a second between the top two.
Yeah, lap traffic getting in the way. Great job by those lapped cars to be able to pull up towards the top of the racetrack to let the leaders go. But still, you know, if you're Mike Tellier, you're saying, all right, hope these guys just let me go. Maybe I'll back off a little bit. But Cam Caldwell able to gain on the leader as he's getting around these lap cars.
Fernando Matos in the number 71 machine has taken it to the garage. So tough break there for Fernando. I'm sure we'll see him next week when we go to Iowa. But definitely a good job by this field, kind of getting that green flag feel to it.
Yeah, green flag feel to it. These guys definitely definitely able to get into a little bit of a rhythm here as the laps just tick down. 42 now, laps to go as the leaders cross the line, and really just a very rhythmic pace for this race.
Yeah, sometimes all you have to do as a race car driver is find that groove, that rhythm, and it seems like these drivers are finding it.
Yeah, absolutely. Some great racing so far as we take a look at the leader now. Mike Tellier picking up about a 1 second lead over Cam Caldwell. Some pretty open racetrack ahead of him. The next car in his sights is the 35 of Joe Heater. About a straightaway or so until he gets to him. But the cars in front of Heater looking like they're side by side battling for position. So this will be interesting when the leaders do get to them.
Yeah, they're just a little bit further ahead. I was looking up and down the scoring pylon right now, and Billy Thornton right here doing a good job right behind the 60 of Jason Freeman, I think, who just got around him. But whoa, look at this. Jason Gracias in the number 98. That's Tristan Mayer. This is the battle for fourth. And the number 4 trying to get up into the fourth position. That'll be 4 for 4 right there in the discount tire Dodge Chargers. So move our points leader back up into the top 4. He's now going to try and run down the number 99 of Scott. But look at that number 99. He's got a little bit of an advantage now over this number 4 machine.
Yeah, a bit of an advantage. He's got the lap car to the inside of him as Joe Heater pulls off to the inside to let these drivers go by. But Scott, right now, looks like he's got about a half a second or so advantage over top of the 4 of Jason Gracias now.
Mike Tellier still up at the front of the field, 1.2 seconds, so he was able to scoot away just a little bit. Ooh, man, Tristan Mayer there in the number 98 having a big wiggle. Coming out of the corner, there he is. He's now fallen into the clutches of the number 20 of Jason Freeman. Let's see if we can go on board here with Freeman, looking out front at that number 98 machine. So you can get a little bit of a look at this racetrack here from the roof cam. In fact, now the 20 of Freeman is going to try and get underneath the number 98. They're nice and tight there going off into turn number 3. And looks like Freeman is going to take that spot. So Mayer here falling back just a little bit as we have 35 laps to go. Almost contact between those two coming out of the corner.
Man, what a great battle there is. Oh, here comes the 5 of Billy Thornton looking to stick his nose in underneath the 98. 98 able to get away from that position. But man, what fantastic racing that we're seeing here so far, Peter, between these playoff drivers.
And things starting to close in for second, as well as the number 99. Philip Scott is closing in on Cam Caldwell, and Jason Gracias is closing in on the back of the number 99. So we're going to have some great battles here between all of your chase drivers. Meanwhile, Mike Tellier still has about a 1 second lead out there in the number 97 machine. But Cam Caldwell over the last few laps has been clawing in just a little bit. This is going to be a fantastic finish here on 3 Wide TV. Don't go anywhere, folks. And if you're in the chat, make sure you make yourself heard. We'd love to hear from you here in the Thornton Graphix Cup for the Total Nonstop Racing League. We're riding on board with the Thornton Graphix machine right now, the number 5 of Billy Thornton, as he goes across the start-finish line once again, just getting ever so close to that left rear quarter panel of that number 98.
Yeah, it's got to be so frustrating if you're the 5 of Billy Thornton saying, you know what, I feel like I have a faster car than the 98. I wish I could just dive down into the inside like we see him doing right now. But just not quite enough get up and go coming out of the corners, doesn't want to spin his tires, doesn't want to slide and make contact with the 98. And, it's got to be so frustrating for a driver when you're sitting there saying, you know what, I have the fastest car, or at least I think I have the fastest car, and it's just tougher for me to get around the guy in front of me.
And here we go. The number 5 of Thornton got underneath the number 98 of Mayer. This is that battle for 6. This is for the spot between two different chase drivers for the Thornton Cup. Of course, man, could you imagine if the number 5 of Billy Thornton walked away with the Thornton Graphix Cup? That would sound like an inside job almost. But that number 5 not quite able to make that position, that pass, but they caught the number 53 of Falstaff there. He's one of the lap cars. Almost able to use him as a pick, but here comes the 98 of Tristan Mayer on the outside, roaring back, as it seems like we have RC Plains 59 in the chat, rooting on the number 99 of Philip Scott this week as these two continue to do battle.
Man, what a run there by the 98 coming out of turn 2 one lap ago, able to get not only around the 53 of Falstaff, but able to keep side by side with the 5 of Thornton, as here they are still battling as they head off into turn number 3. Great battling here between these two drivers.
Yeah, that number 5 definitely fighting for his life right there on the inside, not able to do anything just yet. Meanwhile, up in front of him, a huge gaggle of cars with a little bit of lap traffic. So you start to see, we'll just take a quick peek here. We'll see if the number 5 can pull off this pass this time, because Philip Scott and Jason Gracias starting to get a little bit racy in front of him. There they are. Oh, contact between the 12 and the 99. The 12 goes around, and is that going to bring out a caution? Yes, it will. Yes, it will. We are back under caution, man. We panned to that one as pretty much perfect timing here to see that accident happen. And let's get that one more look. 99 into the back of the 12. The 12 goes sideways, and luckily not too much damage on any of those race cars.
Yeah, I'm surprised. It looked like the 20 was just getting ready to T-bone the 12 as he had gotten sideways there right in the door, but luckily looks like not a whole lot of damage. Looks like the 12 might have gotten into the passenger side door of the 4 of Jason Gracias here as we take a look from the back bumper of the 12. And wow, really, drivers able to keep cars off of each other, and man, that's huge for these chase drivers, especially if you're the 4 of Jason Gracias.
Now the big question is going to be, Bob, is the number 12 just got turned by the number 99. Is he going to hold that against him later on in the race? I don't know. You know, that's one of those things. It's a short track race, and tempers flaring a little bit, perhaps.
Yeah, short track racing, 22 laps to go. It's a chase race, so who knows? If you're the 12, you might be a little frustrated with that move, and if you get that chance as the laps wind down, maybe we'll see a bit of the chrome horn a little bit later on.
Yeah, so definitely gonna be interesting to see exactly how that one's all gonna work out. But let's see if we can catch a word, perhaps, very quickly with the man who has led most of the laps here tonight, that number 97 of Mike Floppy Teller. Let's see if we can drag him down here into the 3-wide TV booth. Pace truck lights are still on. Now let's see if we can drag him up here. Mike Floppy Teller, Peter Short, 3-wide TV booth. You got a quick copy?
Oh, I do, Peter. How's it going, guys?
Doing pretty well. Hey, man, what a stellar run. Nothing runs like a deer, and you're out there running away with the show. Tell us about your night.
It's all this Ford performance. It's keeping me up here. We, the Waffle Motorsports, decided to make a manufacturing change, and it's paying off. I got Philip behind me. Tristan's been running good. He's in top 5 as well. It's a good day. Yeah,
definitely. That number 97's been really fast. How much practice were you able to get in on this racetrack? We've heard from a lot of drivers it's very, very slick out there, but you're looking like you're basically making it a master class.
Oh, it is very, very slick. You have to be extremely easy coming out of the corners, or you'll spin your back tires and loop it around. I'm surprised we haven't had more self spins, to be honest with you.
Well, definitely these drivers figuring it out here. But Mike, best of luck here. We're going to have just under 20 laps when you go back green. Any thoughts on how you'll be able to walk away with the checker?
I'm just going to give her all I got and hope I can hold these guys off for 19 more laps.
All right. Well, Mike, good luck. We'll see if you can play spoiler here in a little bit. Of course, one of the non-chase drivers, but best of luck, Mike.
Yes.
All right. We'll let Tim get back to it. And Bob, pace truck lights are off, so we're about to get back to green flag action. But look at that. The number 12 of Cam Caldwell. He didn't lose all too many positions. Now, we did have a bunch of takers on pit road. Most of the field did come down. So we'll see how these drivers fare on 4 fresh tires. Hopefully the tires are warm enough. We won't see any wheel spin here. Oh, man, the 97 laid back a little bit. Cam Caldwell a little bit late on excuse me, not Cam Caldwell, but the 99 of Phillips got late on the loud pedal. And they're going to go 3 wide off into turn number 1. How about that?
Yeah, 3 wide, and the last 2 drivers involved in that previous incident side by side. So if you're Cam Caldwell and you're wanting for some revenge, maybe right now is the time, as you're right on the back bumper of the 99 machine as they head off into turn number 1.
And now Caldwell's going to drop down to the inside line. How about this, folks? Oh, the 99 gets loose there coming out of turn number 2. And now the 12 had to check up. The 20 of Freeman there just showing his nose. This is exactly what Mike Floppy Tellier wants to see out of his rear view mirror. These drivers going toe-to-toe with one another, because that will allow him to scoot away up at the front. Oh, the 20 giving the 12 a nudge. The 12 goes up the racetrack. Now the 4 and the 20 swapping paint.
Yes, side by side, good battle there between the 4 and the 20, getting into one another. But man, that is just some great short track racing, as these guys, you can fit all of them under a blanket here as they come across the stripe.
Yeah, and contact and their big accident there in turn number 1 and 2. And it again involves the number 12 machine. Little bit of bumping and banging here. Let's see if we can figure this one out, because the 20 and the 12, the 20 comes up, I think, and hits the side of the 12, and the 4 has to come to a complete stop. And look at all the positions that they ended up losing. We'll see if we can get one more look at that one from the blimp cam here. And we'll slow this one down here, Bob, so we can kind of figure out exactly what's going on.
Yeah, let's see here as they come across the stripe, the 20 down on the inside in that black car, to the inside of the 12 of Cam Caldwell. And we'll see here, yeah, it looks like the 20 is just getting a little squirrely right here as he enters turn 1. Slides it up the racetrack there. And that's all she wrote. The 4 right behind him, really nowhere to go, gets in the back of the 20, punts him around a little bit more, able to get the car woed up just a bit. But what a great job wreck avoiding there is the 5 of Billy Thornton, able to put the brakes on and then get around these 3 drivers.
Yeah, look at Garrett Gleason there going mowing. You'd expect that out of the race leader, the number 97 machine. He had to get that thing woed up before making contact with the inside wall. But definitely an interesting one here, because you just, man, if you're the number 4 machine, you are absolutely livid. You come into tonight as the points leader. Let's go on board with him and see this contact right out front. We'll again go to kind of the slow motion. The 12 is running, and yeah, from that angle, very clear that the number 20 kind of washes up. It looks like the 12 was holding his line and just nowhere for the number 4 machine to go. There's the other cars behind him, kind of getting their way around him. And of course, this is going to have a huge shuffle on the race standings, because we'll see if we can bring up those at the top of the screen here, because Tellier still leads, but then you have Scott, Maher, and Thornton running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. But look at that, Jason Gracias all the way down in 10th, and running right behind him in 11th, Jason Freeman. So, and what about the number 12, Cam Caldwell? He's going to be back there as well. We're going to have a couple drivers that really going to try and charge their way through the field here with not a whole lot of laps to go.
Yeah, I mean, taking a look at the chase standings coming into tonight's race, Gracias had a 7-point lead over Freeman. Philip Scott and Billy Thornton tied for 3rd with 938 points, and then 7 points behind them was Tristan Maher. So this is going to be a huge shakeup if the race were to finish the way these drivers are running right now, with Scott picking up the lion's share of the points over the rest of his competitors.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely going to be fun to see how this all shakes out with the point standings. Like we mentioned, there will just be 2 more rounds left after tonight. Iowa, which is always a fun little short track to go to, and then, of course, Indianapolis to round out the Thornton Graphix Cup here in the Total Nonstop Racing League. So definitely check them out. Link in the description. Meanwhile, up at the front, Mike Floppy Tellier is about to lead us back to green flag. We're going to have a 10-lap shootout here at North Wilkesboro, Bob.
Yeah, good old short track shootout. Let's see if the 97 is going to get the jump on the restart yet again. Philip Scott on his outside on the right. And man, what a great jump again there by the 97 of Mike Tellier, able to get down low and keep that lead. But now a good battle here between the 98 and the 99 and the teammates between Philip Scott and Tristan Mayer.
Yeah, that number 98 right down there on that inside groove, trying to find the grip down there. You saw a little bit of wheel input out of the front of that number 98 machine through that windshield. I'll tell you what, it's not very safe down there on that inside line, but if you can find the run, you can sometimes make it work. But unfortunately for that number 98, he slots back in. Now, folks, we're going to be watching the left hand. Oh, there goes the 98 around in front of the field. Is that going to bring out a caution? Yes, it does. Caution flag here again, and that's one of your chase drivers right up there inside the top three, the number 98, who just went around Tristan Mayer. And we'll get one more look at this one. Coming out of the corner, we've seen him kind of laying it all out there the lap before, and this time just not able to catch it. And luckily only a light bit of contact there with the left rear quarter panel, but that is not what you want to see if you're the number 98 machine.
Man, Peter, when you were talking to Mike Tellier earlier in the race, he said, I'm surprised we haven't seen a whole lot of self-spins, but this time we can call it the leader's curse, as the 98 of Tristan Mayer goes around looking a little bit like that Jimmy Johnson save from Dover back in the mid-2000s, where in qualifying, coming off a Ford, spun it around, 500,000 times, able to save it from the wall. And it was a little similar to that save.
Yeah, we're back live here up at the front of the field, the number 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier. I'm sure he'll be happy with that one, Bob, because that means less green flag laps for someone to get to his back bumper. And we've seen some stellar restarts out of that number 97 here tonight. He definitely knows where the restart zone is. He knows where he can get on the loud pedal and really pull away from Philip Scott. It's really now up to Scott to anticipate the restart to try and get a launch off into turn number 1 to draw level with that number 97, but no one has been able to contend with Tellier here tonight. We'll bring up laps led up there at the top of your screen. There's only 2 drivers who have led laps here tonight, Mike Tellier and Steven Doziak, your winner from Daytona 1 week ago. What about Doze? He's got himself back up into the top 5. How about that, Bob? He's now running in 4th in the number 55 No Bull machine. Definitely great to see him back up there, trying to back up that run from a week ago.
Yeah, for sure. Had a great run last week, like you had mentioned, and that the fact that he didn't pit during the stage break, some 60 some odd laps ago, able to get some more fresh tires up on that car, and look at him, he's up in 4th right now.
Yeah, and what about Jason Gracias? He was able to pick up some spots. Same thing with Jason Freeman. He got himself back up to 7th. I think Gracias being scored right now in 8th. Cam Caldwell was able to get himself back up into 6th. I'm sure he won't be all too happy after the contact he's had. And really, Cam Caldwell's been one of those drivers here over the last couple of weeks since he joined the Total Nonstop Racing League. He's kind of been knocking on the door of a victory, so I don't think it'll be all too long before we see that number 12 in victory lane.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we saw Chicagoland, both he and Tellier had some great battles back and forth, both of them leading until they had a late race pit mishap as they were coming to pit road, got caught speeding on pit road. But, I mean, those 2 drivers really, both of them winless this season, but, not for long, especially the way the 12 of Caldwell has been performing in these last few races.
So we will have a 2-lap shootout. It will not count as an official attempt at a green-white checker because it will be lap number 99 when we go back to green officially. So if we get a caution flag in the first lap of green flag action, we'll do it all over again with the first attempt at a green-white checker. But this, an unofficial attempt at a green-white checker because we are still within regulation. Hopefully we can see out to the checkered flag. Pace truck about to head down pit road, racing the hands of the number 97. He's chosen the high line, trying to get that grip out of the corner. And once again, great start from the number 97. He's going to pull away here, going off into turn number 1. Billy Thornton in the number 5, battling with Steven Doziak. That's a battle for 3rd. And oh man, the number 5 getting a little bit tight there coming out of the corner. Does he open up the door for the number 12? Caution flag waves. We're going to have to do it all over again, folks.
Oh man, if I'm Mike Tellier right now, I'm just sitting there, just so dejected. It looks like he was getting ready to come out of turn 4, get the white flag in the air, but that yellow comes out and they're going to have to do this all over again.
Yeah, let's see if we can see what happened. This is a little bit further back. That's Vincent Valvano in the 38 machine, the number 98. They go 3 wide. Oh, there's contact, and Valvano backs it up there into the wall, and then trying to get it back going, has a little bit of a hiccup there as well. We'll see if we can catch that one from a slightly different view of the restart. Here we go. This is when they went green, and that number 98 just decided to kind of jump it down. He's one of those playoff drivers. They're 3 wide. That's the number 21 down there on the inside of the racetrack of Derek Cook. We haven't really mentioned Derek Cook's name here tonight. Kind of a quiet night in that number 21 machine. But that's a good thing here at North Wilkesboro, because you want to stay out of trouble, and he was definitely staying out of trouble there. And definitely contact between the 98 and one more look at it, the 38 there, just backing it up into the wall. That's a tough break there for that number 38 of Vincent Valvano. But I'll tell you what, Bob, another attempt at a green-white checker.
Man, one more time around for these drivers. Looks like the field getting ready to get stacked up. Pace truck lights still on. But man, if I'm the 97, I'm just sitting there saying, all right, guys, keep it together. Just 2 more laps. That's all I need. Heck, even 1 more lap, as long as I'm leading when that caution comes out. That's all I'm looking for. I want to play spoiler here, and I want to get the win. And let's see if the guys can do it this time.
Yeah, that also allowed AJ Fosnot to get one of his laps back. He's still a couple of laps down in that number 53 machine. Well, let's see if we can highlight Derek Cook. Like I said, we haven't really mentioned him here tonight. There he is, running just inside the top 10, right in front of the number 98 of Tristan Maher, who's trying to get himself back towards the top 5, of course, is one of the chase drivers. But that number 21 machine looking pretty darn good. Kept it nice and clean. That's what you got to do here tonight. We've heard how difficult it is to get around this racetrack, and Derek's doing a fantastic job of that, just inside the top 10, battling right there with the number 7 of Garrett Gleason. Chicken Put, the fastest chicken in the South, it says on the side of that number 7 machine. Folks, don't be fooled. Garrett Gleason's not in the South, but that number 7 machine, bright red, you can't miss it here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a little weird not seeing a Robbie Gordon-inspired paint scheme on that 7 of Garrett Gleason. But hey, you know what? We're at North Wilkesboro. We might as well do a throwback race. And yeah, these cars really doing a great job. Looking good out there on the track.
The good news is the pace truck lights have turned off, so we're going to have the first attempt here at a green-white checker. If it's anything like the last one, it's going to be crazy here, folks, so get up out of your seats. Root on whoever you're rooting on, because we're going to have a shootout here once again at North Wilkesboro in the 97, again out to a huge jump. Look at the number 4 of Jason Gracias and the number 55 of Doziak. Gracias tried to stick it in there to the outside of the number 55. Now he's going to have to cut back underneath them. We're still green here. So we're going to get the white flag this time. If we can stay green through this corner, looks like we can. And oh, the 4 Gracias is going around. And we do. Oh my goodness, huge contact in the back of the pack. And caution flag does wave. Wow, that was an absolute madness. And no, we made it to the start-finish line. So that's going to be it. The caution flag did come up, and holy smokes, that is a Chevy Silverado just mowing through the field. But it will be Mike Floppy Tellier who goes to victory lane here at North Wilkesboro. Get a little bit of a nudge there from his teammate, the number 99, sends them spinning. I'm sure that's a congratulatory spin. I don't think there's any beef between them. The number 98 coming around. Oh, man, the 44 popcorning. And I know that number 97 is going to be one happy camper. We're going to have to figure out exactly what all went down there before. We'll let the number 97 celebrate right here in front of the 3-wide TV camera. But what a wild finish here tonight at North Wilkesboro. Man, a huge, just big shake-up there in the point standings as we saw the 4 and the 20 get back and forth or get back into one another as they came out of turn number 4. So it's going to be real interesting to see where all of these, where this lineup shakes out. Yeah, we'll bring up the race standings there at the top of the screen so you can figure out where your favorite driver finished. But that number 97, Mike Tellier, dominant here tonight. He led all but 5 laps around this racetrack here tonight. Very, very impressive from the number 97. A very commanding win, which is something I know he's been hoping to have. He's yet to get to victory lane until tonight here in the Total Nonstop Racing League reboot, and he's definitely done it in fashion here tonight, and I'm sure he's going to burn it down here until that motor blows. In fact, I'm a bit surprised that motor hasn't already blown, but I'll tell you what, nothing runs like a deer.
Gotta get me a John Deere from my house. Man, those things, that engine's still staying strong.
Do they make racing engines? Because I'll tell you what, a good number of NASCAR teams should probably pick up the John Deere. Actually, that'd be really cool if John Deere started making NASCAR engines. You'd have like the Richard Childress Racing John Deere entry. That'd be sweet. But
hey, I'd be more than okay with that.
That'd be darn sweet. I mean, I know Roush Yates. They build good engines, but bring back the old '97 Chad Little John Deere era. In fact, that's what this scheme is envisioned off of. And finally, looks like that engine has gone kaput there out of that number 97 machine. Well, let's see if we can quickly go back and figure out what all went down there between quite a few cars. There was definite contact, and right there coming to the white flag. And it involved a couple of cars that got completely wadded up. And I think it all started with the number 4 machine and the number 20. So we'll see if we can kind of focus on them first and kind of see. Here we go, coming out of the corner. Let's go into slow motion because there's the contact between the 20 and the 4. The 4 starts spinning, but watch the back half of the field now. They have nowhere to go. The 22 just pile drives into the back of the 20. Joe Heater involved, Kyle Geveshausen, Vincent Valvano, and that's Stephen Kegman there. Ward Burton throwback, just absolutely junked.
Man, what a hard hit, and really nowhere to go for those guys as they were coming out. The 20 was slowed up because he had gotten into the back of the 4. 22 got in there, 44 in there as well, 35. It's man, just mayhem coming out of 4.
Yeah, we'll get to one. Man, that hit is just brutal there between the 22 and the 20. And you can see Joe Heater there trying to squeak on through. He then, I think, had more contact with Vincent Valvano, and he got, whoa. He's going exploring. I don't know if he kind of got himself stuck Austin Powers style there between the inside catch fence and the outer wall. Okay, well, he's just going to go... Let's just go. That didn't work out well, did it, Joe?
Well, definitely no shortcuts here on the short track of North Wilkesboro as Joe Heater was able to find that one out the hard way.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's see if we can get some post-race interviews for you guys here on 3 Wide TV. Definitely going to be some good ones. Don't mind the fact that we have... the replay thing going up right there. But we got, looks like we have Philip Scott in the waiting room. We got Mike Floppy Teller. Let's see if we can pick up Billy Thornton as well, because he is due for an interview here tonight. And he literally just disappeared, unfortunately, as I was picking up his name. So, fortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get an interview with our third place finisher here tonight, Billy Thornton of Thornton Graphix. But I think we're going to let's go over the second place finisher. How about that? Let's see if we can dial up Philip Scott here in the new number 99 machine. Take it away.
Philip Scott, the new driver of the 99 Scott's machine. Bob Giaquinto up here in the 3-Wide TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, Philip, great race, good-looking car here. Second place finish. Had a really strong run throughout the night.
Yeah, definitely. That was that was a lot of fun. Man, that coming to the end was really nerve-wracking. Yeah, I was pretty good through the whole race. Pretty consistent. I ended up my bumper ended up making some enemies, but yeah, I've really grown to really like short tracks. For a while I'd always like feel like those weren't my strong suit, but now I almost feel like they're my best type of tracks, because I felt really good at Nashville and I felt really good at Bristol, and now here I felt like I almost had everything together really good. But yeah, that long run, I was really trying to be as smooth as possible, and Cam was out in front of me. He was pushing hard trying to get to Mike, but then he ate his tires up a bit, So I knew I'd get to him, but I tried getting to him, but because of the way turn 3 and 4 are in elevation, it's a lot harder to get a good runoff, and the banking too. So I kept on not being able to get around it. Like I would get a good run on him in 1 and 2, and then wouldn't be able to keep it together for 3 and 4. But then later on in the run, I started to try to be like and give him a nice friendly tap, like I'm here. But but of course our bumpers kind of got stuck together, and I tried letting off, but then I just turned. But he was cool with it. He said I wouldn't. I don't blame you. But but it's just a lot of fun. I was saying in the call, I fully expect everybody else to race me hard too. Obviously, race how you want to be raced, and it's a short track. I love that type of race, and so I tried to. I mean, I didn't mean to spin him. I just, in the words of good old Dale Earnhardt, I just wanted to rattle his cage. But yeah, then coming to the final restarts and stuff, my last restart, I felt like I had a really good shot at getting to Mike on like the last lap. I felt like I feel like the only way I could have gotten to him is the bumper, but the yellow came out. But I'm really happy with this because I've gotten a bunch of like 3rd, 4th, and 5th, but this is my first 2nd place, and I wouldn't have expected my first 2nd place finish to be at North Wilkesboro of all places. So yeah, really happy with this race.
Yeah, just a fantastic run tonight there. Looking forward now to next week. You'd already mentioned that you've kind of become a bit of a short track ringer. Next week, we're moving over to Iowa, a bit of a little similar to Richmond as far as track layout is concerned. What are you looking for that race next week?
I'm obviously gonna. I hope that I can be up there contending for a win, just like I was this week. I like Iowa. Iowa's probably my favorite short track. I have a lot of I have a lot of fun on that track. Something about it, it is a little similar to Richmond, but something about Iowa I just like a little more. The surface is a lot rougher, and it's way wider, so it's like a lot more different possibilities of different grooves. And I had a race in another league here on 3Y TV a couple weeks ago at Iowa, and I felt really good there. I was like really getting into a groove there, and I was like, I got up to like 3rd place at one point in that one. That was the Simbox Truck Series. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Iowa.
Awesome. Well, Philip, before we let you go, do you have any shout outs that you'd like to give?
Yeah, of course. So first off, of course, thanks to Dunn Raceway Park and Thornton Graphix for sponsoring the league. Next season is going to be even bigger and better. Going to have those awesome Xfinity cars. Those are my favorite in the on iRacing, pretty much. And of course, National Ninja League. Check them out on nationalninja.com or Facebook or Instagram. We still have a pretty fun season going. This past weekend, we had 9 competitions across the country. So everybody's wanting to get in on that ninja competition. And it's been a blast watching everybody. We have every single competition live streamed on Facebook. And yeah, so check us out. And also the reason why I chose 99. So obviously, Mike wanted me and Tristan to switch to Ford, and me being a Detroit guy, I'm like, of course, I love Ford. My family drives only Fords and everything. My grandfather was an executive at Ford for a long time, so we were a pretty big Ford family. So I'm definitely happy to be driving a Ford now, and I chose the 99. So Tristan, I was originally going to be the 98 because I like Chase Briscoe, but Tristan wanted to be the 98, and I'm like, all right, I'll be 99, be 3 consecutive numbers, because growing up when I was little, Carl Edwards was far and away my favorite. I loved Carl Edwards, so it was really cool to be able to race his Scott's Roundup Taurus from the same one that he won his first race at Atlanta in. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, Philip, thank you again for joining us. Congrats on the second place finish, and we're looking forward to racing with you again next week at Iowa.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, that will do it with our second place finisher interview. And now it's time to go down to the Thornton Graphix victory lane, where I've caught up with Mike Floppy Tellier. And Mike, I'll tell you what, buddy, finally victory lane here in TNR. How sweet is it to finally get a win?
Oh man, this has been like what 20, almost it feels like 20 years coming. I can't believe it. This has been the hardest league for me to get an oval win in ever, and I finally got one.
And you did it in absolute style here tonight. You led all but 5 laps. Started on the pole, and just you were on rails. What was it about this joint that you had figured out?
Like I said earlier, it's just easy getting on the gas, coming at a turn 2 and 4, and then just making sure you can get the power down to go. And it just seemed like I picked it up faster than the other guys tonight.
And it's interesting you say that, because you, of course, also very, very fast in the Saturday night series that we have in the Total Nonstop Racing League, the Stadium Truck Series. Those Stadium Trucks, those things are all about brake and throttle control. And it seems if throttle control was the name of the game here tonight, you've got it down because you figured out those trucks as well. You are the trucks points leader, and definitely here tonight to putting on a show and kind of sneaking up the show for the chase drivers.
Yeah, I'm just I'm trying to steal as many W's as I can before the season's out. I got 2 more chances to get 2 more, and I'm going to go for them all.
And speaking about those last 2 races, we have Iowa next week, and then, of course, we'll end out the season at Indianapolis. What are your thoughts about the last 2 races here of the season?
I've never been very good at Indy, but Iowa I'm excited for. It seems to run like Richmond, and I had a really, really good race at Richmond earlier this season, or maybe it was last season, one or the other. But I'm excited for Iowa. I've always ran good there.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fun one here on 3 Wide TV at Iowa. And I know, Mike, you have a lot of people to thank, a lot of people who've got you here to where you were at in the Total Nonstop Racing League, going all the way back to the NR 2003 days. Boy, those seem like a long time ago. But here we are in the big time in iRacing, and you're in victory lane, so let's hear who you have to thank.
Yeah, my teammates, Tristan, Philip. I wish Wags was here, but he's not, unfortunately. He's the other member of Waffle Motorsports. My kids, they're upstairs waiting to go to bed, but I told them they had to wait. I'm celebrating. So, yeah, that's about it.
Well, you'll have to put on this one on YouTube on the big screen, and you have to force all the kids to watch it because they can root on their dad to victory lane here in what is your first win back in Total Nonstop Racing League. Congratulations, and good luck again at Iowa right here on 3 Wide TV next week.
Thanks, guys. And also, thanks for the broadcast every week. It's awesome that you guys are doing this for us.
It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun up here in the booth, don't we, Bob?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, Mike. Well, we'll let you get to it. Put your kids to bed. Maybe put on the race in the background or something. You'll have them fall asleep to your post-race interview. But, Mike, we'll see you around, bud.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right. Well, folks, that's going to do it for tonight's Thornton Graphix Victory Lane interview. Big shout out to Thornton Graphix as well as DRP, Dunn Raceway Park in Old Forge, Pennsylvania. Indoor off-road RC racing track. Very cool. Make sure you check out their Facebook if you're interested and you're located close to the Old Forge, Pennsylvania area. They are your one-stop shop. But Bob, a lot of craziness here tonight at North Wilkesboro, and a lot of craziness happened right there at the end. And we'll kind of talk about the points implications because we do have the points updated. So we'll talk about that in a second. But first, let's go through tonight's finishing results there, Bob.
Yeah, so the winner, we just talked to him, Mike Floppy Tellier in the 97 machine. Second place is Philip Scott in the newly numbered 99. He's the first of our chase drivers and highest finishing chase driver there. Third place, the 5 of Billy Thornton, also a chase driver. In fourth, backing up his win at Daytona last week, coming in with the top 5 this week, the 55 of Steven Dosiak. Then next to him, Cam Caldwell, able to battle back after spinning a couple of times, had a great finish there in fifth. Sixth place, the 7 of Garrett Gleason. Outside of him, the 7th, in 7th, the 98 of Tristan Maher, another one of our chase drivers. In 8th, the 21 of Derek Cook, Kyle Givishausen in 9th, and rounding out the top 10, the 38 of Vincent Valvano.
And Jason Gracias, the man who comes in tonight as the points leader, finishing all the way down in 11th. Jason Freeman, second place in points, finishing in 12th. How about that? Those playoff points that Jason got right there at the halfway mark, not at the halfway mark, but on lap 25 when we had the one stage break. Those 2 points could be important there for Gracias. Stephen Kegman there in 13th. Joseph Heater in 14th. AJ Fosnot and Fernando Matos rounding out the field. Matos, the only driver to retire here tonight. Well, now we got to talk about the point standings because, of course, we have 2 races left to crown the Thornton Graphix Cup champion. And Bob, I don't know if you have seen the point standings that have just been updated, but
Yes.
It's starting to get a little bit tighter up at the top.
Yeah, little tight right now. Jason Gracias still able to hold on to the points lead with 995 points. 10 points behind him is the 20 of Jason Freeman. Then Philip Scott, just 4 points behind in third with 981 points. Billy Thornton in fourth with 979, and rounding out the chase field or the playoff field, the 98 machine of Tristan Maher with 968 points. So a very, very tight field with only 2 races left.
Yeah, 10 points separating your top 2 of Gracias and Freeman, and Philip Scott here starting to make a charge as well. Will we see something similar next week at Iowa? Well, folks, you're just going to have to tune in here on 3Y TV to find out. It's definitely going to be a very, very good race. I'm very much looking forward to Iowa. It's, of course, one of the favorites amongst a good portion of the field. It's at least one of my favorites to broadcast as well. And Bob, another short track here at the end of the season. Possibly some tempers here. We talked about tempers at the top of the night. Didn't look like we had all too many, but next week's Iowa, and when you have 2 short tracks next to one another, things could boil over.
Yeah, frustrations definitely could boil over here. Iowa, another track where it's a little bit tougher. You're going to want to run the bottom there, a little tougher to pass. So it's going to be interesting to see if we see another chrome horn situation next week in Iowa.
Absolutely. Well, before we go, we got to give a big shout out to our friends over at SimTV for the camera angles that we bring you each and every week here on 3Y TV. They're definitely a fantastic broadcasting company, so make sure you check them out on YouTube as well. Make sure you give them a like and a subscribe. But for myself, Peter Short, Bob Giacinto, that's all we have here from North Wilkesboro Speedway. We'll see you once again here, same time, same place, 8:30 Eastern, for next week's race at the Iowa Speedway for Total Nonstop Racing League's Thornton Graphix Cup Series. See ya!